Greetings, everyone. It is so nice to see all of y'all's faces. I've come back to Jackson State several times since I moved to Texas. Still running my dance studio here. So currently I'm closing my schools in the States. I'm building 6 more across West Africa. My company is partnered with the African Football Confederation over there so that we can give our sisters over in Africa an opportunity to come to the States and dance and cheer at the same time. But right now, I have gotten a chance to see the JSU Dance Summer perform in some of y'all's great events that y'all did here on campus, especially some outside events off campus. I've seen the JSU Dance Summer and I just kind of smile. Everybody who got a chance to dance with me while I was here in Jackson State always says, what they doing tomorrow? What they doing tomorrow? Like I'm the news keeper for y'all. But you all have done an amazing job in keeping the thrill of the JSU Dance Summer and the DE swayed like a sway. Keep going. And I remembered when I first got to Jackson State and meeting Miss Otis, that probably had to be the highlight because, you know, I think Jackson State chose me rather than me choosing Jackson State. When I first got here, I didn't know what to expect. Actually, coming out of high school, from Callaway High School, I got into NYU Tisch School of Arts. I wanted to be a prima ballerina. But during at the same time, my mother became terminally ill, so I ended up staying at home, and so I ended up coming to Jackson State. And I don't regret ever coming to Jackson State or choosing Jackson State at that time because my entire family went here. My mother was 14 when she attended Jackson State University, where she met my father at the same time. My grandparents went here, my cousins, my uncles, everybody's Jacksonians in my family pretty much. So I can say that Jackson State has poured into me my passion for dance. I started teaching myself watching Fame in my living room at home growing up. So when Debbie Allen said, if you want Fame, this is where it started at 6115 West Wind Road. So it wasn't bad, but during that HBCU Fine Arts competition that we did get a chance to go to, I think my highlight during that time when we did win Most Outstanding Choreography, me going up on stage to get our award, Miss Debbie Allen gave it to me. And she stared at me and she looked at me and she said, that is the best rendition of Wade in the Water since Alvin Ailey, and if he was still alive, he would love this. And I just broke down. I said, you're the reason why I dance. But it was great. But you know, after that, I still got awarded. Jackson State was supposed to come back to the campus because y'all know we rode a van down there. It ain't the most comfortable thing in the world riding to DC. But we did, and we ended up staying because the next day they were doing an honorary luncheon for a surprise guest. And they asked me to do a solo, and I said, okay, well, who's the guest? They said, we're not gonna tell you. See, that's not a good idea. And so I didn't know who it was for, but back in the day we had CDs. So I had my CD case with me, and when I peeked in the room and I was like, I looked, I said, okay. So I ended up doing Mariah Carey Hero, and I ended up doing the induction for Secretary Colin Powell. Oh. And I was in tears the entire time I was dancing. And then at the end, of course, I ended at his table. He stood and he hugged me and he said, that is the best performance I've ever received. And I was like, I wish I could tell my mama. My sisters could see me do this or whatever, but it was really, really nice. But even all of my career since the day I started, I traveled with music artists. I danced with Earth, Wind & Fire and a couple of other huge legendary bands before coming to Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. I just thought, you know, God has a good sense of humor, me thinking I had planned, you know, when you make your own plans and you don't listen to your spirit, thinking I was going to just do ballet because I wanted to be Misty Copeland before she got there, and he put me in professional sports, and my mother was the first one to say, go and try for the Love Bulls. And I said, sports? We didn't even watch basketball in my house. It's 4 girls. And my dad watched boxing and westerns. But it turned out to be a good thing because I found my footing in professional sports. I didn't realize I would go from the NBA to the NFL and then back to the NBA and still be very involved with all of those organizations at the same time. But right now, I love that because I get to serve as a liaison for any minority young lady that's looking to go to the NFL or the NBA and help her get there. So far we have 25 that come to the next level. So thank y'all so much for this award.
You still a living legend, girl. Come on. You still a living legend.